All right, so we are working on theme as a whole group. So I want to get extra practice while you guys are working on Schoology. So we are going to read a short passage called A Good Neighbor. After that, we will work on finding the theme of the story. So remember, and if you need the visuals up at the front of the room, the theme is the message, moral, or lesson to be learned in the story. What problems did the character face? Maybe how did it change the character? What did they learn about themselves or about anything else that can be applied to their lives, but also can be applied to us? So it needs to be worded as if they can learn from it, but it also needs to be worded as if I could learn from it. So you're necessarily not going to put in a character's name when you're identifying the theme. You're going to say, you might say, friendship is the most important thing, or loyalty to your friends is important, or do not lie, always tell the truth. Those are worded universally, as we say, so everybody can learn from it. So we'll go ahead and read A Good Neighbor, and then we'll answer the questions, or I will read the questions, kind of guide you towards an answer and let you guys answer those as the other groups are working. So theme, read the passage, then complete the exercises. A Good Neighbor. Carlo was on his way to play football when he saw his neighbor, Mrs. Lee. She was pulling weeds in her garden. She waved at him. "Hello, Mrs. Lee. You look tired," he said. "I am," she sighed. Carlo heard himself say, "Why don't I help you?" He left his old football on Mrs. Lee's porch and pulled weeds all afternoon. Finally, they were done. "It looks great," said Mrs. Lee. "Let me pay you." "That's okay," said Carlo. It was nothing. The next day, Carlo found a new football on his porch and a note. Good neighbors are hard to find. So the first question says, how did Carlo help his neighbor? Okay, what did he do? He was walking by and he saw Mrs. Lee looked very tired, exhausted. What did he do for Mrs. Lee? And then if you just remember, click your text box, the T over on the left, and then you can type right on the lines. Number 2, how did Mrs. Lee thank Carlo? What did Mrs. Lee do for Carlo? At the end, you can find that. How was he repaid for what he did for helping her? And same thing, you hit your T for text box, type right on that line. And lastly, it's asking what is the theme of the story? So what is the lesson learned? Okay, it's obviously going to be a pretty positive lesson. Okay, he was very helpful, and in the end, he received something because he was so helpful. But how can that be worded as if I can learn from it as well? As if someone in the classroom told me this and I took it to heart because I needed to learn that lesson as well. So go ahead and fill that out. When you are done, you can go ahead and do log into iReady and work on your learning path.